Well, it's drama that Vijay is probably not used to experiencing off screen, but he won that big election, which would have been the big thing in his life. He still has not been invited to swear in and form the government because the governor of Tamil Nadu apparently is not convinced. And this has caused a great deal of debate in the country whether or not the governor, who is a constitutional position, is actually playing politics. In this video, we're going to examine what the law says, what the Supreme Court says, what previous cases of this question has been dealt with, and what the precedent is in the country right now. So remember, like, share, subscribe, and if you can, please sign up for our membership. You'll get a bulletin every night that tells you everything that's happening across the world. Now, let's take a look at what has happened so far. Actor turned politician Vijay has won the election in Tamil Nadu. From all yardsticks, he won the election. And he met today the Tamil Nadu governor, Rajendra Vishwanath Alekar, for the second time to stake his claim to form the government. But he has not been invited to do so, and sources and reports from the ground say that the governor is not convinced that the TVK has the numbers to form the government, explaining that formal position as of now. Remember, the TVK has those numbers and they have Congress support, and I'll take you through the numbers in a second. But this is where the big question comes. Remember, the election was on Monday. Vijay went on Wednesday and met the governor, and he's gone again today and met the governor but not received an invitation. This is what reports say, that Vijay has presented support of 112 legislatures to the governor. The governor is considering this insufficient. The Indian Express says he has insisted that Vijay show proof of majority before he is invited to form the government, and that's where this question is. The New Indian Express says the governor has cited past court rulings and asked Vijay to prove his majority before the flow test could even be considered, and that is the problem. So the whole debate boils down to this. There are many legal voices across the country who say it is not up to the government to ask for this sort of proof. It's not up to the governor to ask for the proof. He should invite them to form the government, and the proof and the final vote should happen on the floor of the assembly. And there are others who say the governor can use his discretion to see whether or not he's convinced. So we're going to break that down. Let's first take a look at the numbers. TVK has 108 seats from the election. They need 118 to have 1+ majority. Congress has 5. Vijay contested in 2 seats, so that takes him up to 113 back to 112. Now TVK has told NDTV, these are source-based reports, that CPI with 2 seats, CPM with 2 seats, and VCK with 2 seats is what they're counting on for backing. This would take them with 6 seats past that mark that they need to be. The other 2 major important players are DMK and AIDMK, who have 59 and 47, which you can see on the screen. We'll keep the screen up. Now, we understand that so Congress has given support. CPI and CPM have also verbally given support, although we don't have actual proof of this. VCK is saying, and their leader today spoke to the press and spoke to reporters. His name is Balavan, I beg your pardon. His name is Tol Balavan. He spoke to the press and he said that we've received a request from Vijay. We've not ignored it. We have a procedure. Our party high-level committee will meet. We will discuss merits and demerits, and then we will say what our position is. He has also said that the governor must invite Vijay because it is a constitutional right and the people's verdict, and the governor cannot say that he needs to have all the support in hand before he forms the government. The other big player here is DMK, MK Stalin. Now, MK Stalin has told the Times of India that his party will give Vijay's TVK 6 months to form a government and to start working, and he will watch quietly without disturbing. Now, this is being seen by a lot of people as very graceful, because effectively it means that they will not attempt to break the party, they will not attempt to form another alliance. They're actually going to sit in opposition and allow TVK to form that government. And this comment is really coming because there was some buzz in the last 24 hours of a possible alliance between DMK and AIDMK. Now, for people who understand Tamil Nadu politics, it's like saying an alliance between the Congress and the BJP. It's just like unbelievable, right? So DMK has said that they're not doing anything. They're going to sit in the opposition. DMK leader and Lok Sabha MP Kalanidhi Veeraswamy has said that DMK will act as an effective opposition despite the Congress betrayal, because Congress was their ally and now it has switched. It will not interfere in any way. So that is where the DMK is. Now the TVK, like I told you, is in talks with VCK, the CPI and CPM. AIDMK was apparently pushing the BJP to stop. This is what the DMK this thing is saying, that the BJP is trying to stop this government from being formed. In the meantime, let's take a look at what AIDMK is doing. AIDMK has shifted all of its MLAs to Puducherry to keep them safe. Spokesperson Kovai Satyan has said party MLAs have been lodged in Puducherry. He said, one source quoted by the Times of India said, Edapadi Palaniswamy was prepared to give unconditional support to Vijay, but the discussions apparently have stalled, and the party leaders have ruled out any possible alliance with the DMK. And this is where the interesting thing is. Now, sources say there was communication between AIDMK and TVK began early Tuesday and stopped randomly Wednesday in the afternoon when TVK or Vijay stopped responding to the AIDMK altogether. This is what they've said. We offered unconditional support for a stable government. For us, everything was negotiable as long as there was mutual respect, but there was no response from TVK since Wednesday afternoon, and talks between the two camps have ended abruptly, urging, this happened also at the time when the Congress made a deal with the TVK and asked that communal forces that do not believe in the constitution not be allowed in. And that is when Vijay went cold towards the AIDMK. I want you to remember, AIDMK is an ally of the BJP. So they're saying Vijay went unresponsive, he slighted us, this is not a proper response to our support, so we've called off the talks. Sources say the AIDMK leadership is dissatisfied with the handling of this matter by the TVK. So this is where we are right now on this chart. The TVK has the numbers, the Congress has supported, the VCK said they're thinking about it, the other two, CPI, CPM, apparently have already supported. We don't have voices on record right now, I think. DMK is going to sit in opposition, AIDMK is not happy. So then what is the governor doing? Why isn't he inviting Vijay to form the government and asking him to prove his numbers on the floor of the House, which is normally what happens? Now, there's no codified law. Let's look at the law, right? There is no codified law in India that dictates what a governor must do in the case of a hung assembly. It's instead a process that's guided by the Constitution, the Supreme Court judges, constitutional conventions, and recommendations of committees like the Sakaria Commission and the Pucci Commission. Right, so let's take a look at it. There's a mention in our constitution in Article 164 where the constitution effectively says that the chief minister is appointed by the governor. The council of ministers are collectively responsible to the House, to the legislative assembly. So whoever becomes chief minister must prove must prove that they have the support of the House. What happens if there's a hung assembly? At this point, the governor must decide who most likely will command majority support. Now, the Sakaria Commission, which was set up in, I think, 1983, which made a list of recommendations to governors on what they should do in these cases, said that the governors should move in this order when there is a hung assembly. They first should prioritize pre-poll alliances that have majorities, or they should prioritize the single largest party who have support from others. This is where Vijay will come in. 3, they should bring in a post-poll coalition with all partners joining the government, or 4, a post-poll alliance offering outside support. These were recommendations, this is not the law. In 2007, another commission, which was headed by former Chief Justice of India, M. Punchi, was asked to take a look at the responsibilities of governments at different levels, and they put out clear guidelines on the appointment of chief ministers. They said that there is some discretionary part to the governor, but they said the governor must follow this list, and the list is similar to the previous list. 1, the group with the largest pre-poll alliance getting the largest number. 2, the single largest party with the support of others. 3, post-poll electoral coalitions. And 4, electoral alliances of joining the government, including independents and supports from outside. Let's take a look at what the Supreme Court has said. Now, the Supreme Court, through many of its judgments, including S.R. Bommaya case, the Karnataka case of 2018, Maharashtra 2019, Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand rulings, has basically said that the governor should avoid political judgments, and they should allow the assembly to decide the majority through a floor test as quickly as possible. This is what the court has said repeatedly over and over again. So the courts have not removed the governor's discretion completely. Governors can ask to see evidence of support if they're not convinced. They can ask if the alliance is stable. They can ask if the claimant realistically has the numbers, but they cannot ask for proof of majority before because that proof of majority has to happen on the floor of the assembly, not to the governor. So there's no, so finally, to put this in a nutshell, you must always invite the single party first. There is no rule says you must invite someone only after they give you written proof of majority, and that is where the gray area is. I want to see, let's take a look at some of the recent years, okay, and what has happened. So in recent years, governors have actually followed very different courses of action. So in 2017, you'll remember Goa and Mizoram. Now, in both of these cases, the Congress party emerged as the single largest party without clear majority. So very similar to Vijay. At that point, the Congress party was very lax and they didn't know that speed was of the essence. So the governors in this case, Mridula Sinha and Najman Heptullah, invited the BJP to form the government based on letters of support shown by other smaller parties. So that's the decision they took then. But at the same time, in 2018 in Karnataka, the BJP emerged as the single largest party. The Congress and the JDS formed alliances that had the numbers. But the governor invited the BJP, B.S. Yadurappa, who took oath as chief minister, and then resigned when the opposition went to Supreme Court. And Supreme Court said that he had to prove his majority within 24 hours. He didn't have that 24 hours. Now, a lot of the legal experts who are speaking up right now have also given this one more example, which was in 1996, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. No party won majority in Lok Sabha. The BJP emerged as the single largest party with 161 seats. The president at that time, Shankar Dayal Sharma, invited Vajpayee ji to form the government first, even though the BJP was falling short of that mark. The logic was simple. The logic was, as the single largest party, the BJP should get the first opportunity to prove their majority. So Vajpayee ji was sworn in as Prime Minister, asked to seek confidence vote. After 13 days, he resigned because he was not able to gather that much support. And this episode is repeatedly used in constitutional debates involving hung assemblies and fractured mandates. The supporters say that you have to invite the largest party. But I must tell you, critics are also now, there is a counter. Like I said, there are two sides to every argument. The other argument is that constitutional practice has evolved since then. Governors and presidents can exercise their discretion to make sure that they are actually calling the most stable force. But in Tamil Nadu, if you look at it right now, there doesn't seem to be a more stable force than Vijay. Back to those numbers that I put out for you, he is the largest and he does seem to be getting support from elsewhere. This is what the BJP is saying nationally. BJP spokesperson Narayan Tripathi, quoted by The Print, has said that everything is democratic. This is what he's saying, I'm quoting. I don't think there's any confusion with the governor. He will go by the constitution, he will go by the rule book. The way the people have cast their votes reflects this outcome. Consequently, the electoral has voted in such a way that no single party has majority. So he is saying that according to our constitutional framework, the party that secures the highest seats, more than half the total, gets the backing. I believe this is precisely the reason for his current confusion. If other parties come forward and express their support for Vijay, then a stable government will be, established. So effectively, there is some delay here. The BJP seems to be backing the governor. We don't really understand why. And this is taking time. As a result, hundreds of TVK supporters are becoming impatient. They have apparently shown up in Chennai at the Nehru Indoor Stadium expecting to see Vijay, and a lot of them have travelled from Coimbatore, from Arumbakam. They're deeply disappointed and they want to know what is going on. The question that a lot of people are asking is the governor playing politics at this point? And if yes, to what end are they playing politics? Because it doesn't seem that outside of Vijay there's any sort of alliance that works. Is the AIADMK in some way still looking for an alliance with Vijay? We don't really know. But as of now, there doesn't seem to be a logical conclusion or a logical explanation for why the governor is taking his time or asking for proof even before the government is formed, especially when the numbers are so close. When he's at 112, when he needs 118, that's not a large number to be bridged. We've seen many parties bridge these numbers in the past. So why is the governor still unsure? We don't know. So apart from Bengal, which is already a fairly serious matter at this point in terms of a lot of the post-poll movements and the violence that we're witnessing, Tamil Nadu also is turning into a very interesting outcome that we're keeping our eye on. Leave me a comment in the comment section if you believe the governor is doing the right thing by exercising his discretion, or is he playing politics?